Zimbabwe Finance Minister criticizes profiteering price hikes as new currency falls. Tanzania charges Vodacom of depriving state of $4.8 million. Plus, Africa's largest tar company plans growth in Middle East. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. We'll get the show started off now with the markets and beginning with Africa. Only the Egyptian market, the AGX 30, was in the green at intraday, up 0.26%. The South African JSE index and the NSE here in Nigeria were both in the red, 0.16% and 0.15% down each. Kenya closed up on Wednesday. In the Middle East, Dubai stock market rose for the sixth straight session at intraday as top lender Emirates NBD extended gains after it announced a deal to buy Turkey's Deniz Bank, while most major Gulf markets inched up except Abu Dhabi. The Dubai index increased 0.57%, with Emirates NBD adding 4% in active trade. The Saudi index edged up 0.68%, while RRG Bank increasing 1.3%. In Qatar, the index gained 0.28%, with Qatar Gas Transport adding 3.3% and Qatar Insurance rising 2.7%. Abu Dhabi's index was down 0.33%. And in Europe, stocks were lower in the morning as traders monitored developments from ongoing U.S.-China trade talks. But I'll begin my conversation with Janelle with some corporate news on the wire. Good afternoon, Janelle. A beautiful day to you. While former Renault Nissan chief Carlos Ghosn has been rearrested in Tokyo following his appeal to the French government for protection, what's been France's response today?
Hello from Frankfurt. Well, just as a refresher, Carlos Ghosn had appeared on a French television channel, reiterating his innocence in an interview and calling for the French government's help. That then marked the end of nearly a month-long out on bail as he was rearrested on fresh allegations of diverting $5 million in funds from a Nissan subsidiary to an account abroad. Now, as for the French response, we've heard from the French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire. He said that Carlos Ghosn should enjoy the judicial standards of being presumed innocent until proven guilty, while also enjoying the protection, the consular protection that is afforded to him as a French citizen. As a French citizen. At the same time, however, he said that it was important to him to be able to, quote, throw every light on the previous corporate governance at Renault. So earlier this week, the news broke that Renault had alerted French authorities about some suspect payments at a made to a Renault Nissan business partner in Oman while Ghosn was chief executive. So the message that we're getting there from France is that it's important to them that they'll support all standards of judicial fairness in the treatment of Carlos Ghosn, but it's also a priority for them to be able to understand what happened at Renault while Ghosn was at the helm, bearing in mind, of course, that the government itself has a 15% stake in the automotive company.
Well, still on corporate news, an interesting twist in the story surrounding Commerzbank and Deutsche Bank's merger. The decision is supposedly to come in the next days, but a new player seems poised to make a move. How are investors treating on credit's supposed interest in Commerzbank?
Well, it really depends on who you ask. Now, Deutsche Bank shares are sliding on that news, indicating a high degree of investor anxiety over this development. Well, you have to be able to imagine that a merger with someone else would make Commerzbank a formidable competitor against Deutsche Bank on German soil as well. Now, if you look at Commerzbank, their shares actually shot up more than 5% in pre-market trading when this news first broke. They're still trading higher now from what I can see. So that indicates that some are excited about this. Now, analysts are saying that this could be a good idea. Now, UniCredit already has a footprint in Germany. It already owns a German bank called Bank, a bank that's very strong in the south of Germany where there is a lot of industry. And at the same time, European regulators are looking for more consolidation in the sector might look more approvingly at a cross-border deal as opposed to the purely a German one that Deutsche Bank and Commerzbank is. But the problem would be there is that they might encounter some pushback from the government of Germany that might be reluctant to see one of two of its national champions fall into foreign ownership. As such, political resistance could be expected there. Now, that is probably why the reporting has been such that UniCredit is prepared to wait for a collapse in the negotiations between Deutsche Bank and Commerzbank as opposed to making a move now. It shows that they're unwilling to weaken their stand with Berlin, which had famously pushed for this Deutsche Bank Commerzbank deal. In case that collapses, then they can make their own move and, if possible, still be in the position to smooth those ruffled feathers out of Berlin if necessary.
And finally, markets seem to have let go of the optimism of the past days over the lack of fresh encouragement around the U.S.-China trade negotiations. But anxiety over a sharp fall in German industrial orders is soaring the mood too. Walk us through the figures.
Indeed. So markets are coming up a very mixed today, and that is because factory orders in Germany plunged at their fastest rate in a decade in February. So that's a drop of 4.2% from the previous month. And if you zoom out and look at it on a yearly level, that's a drop by 8.4%. And it looks like exports were the biggest anchor weighing on those figures. Exports saw a drop of 6% due to weakened external demand. Now, all this information comes from the German Economy Ministry that unfortunately did not have any more words of comfort for the future. They said that this gloomy outlook is likely to persist in the next months as demand remains depressed. Now, analysts are blaming the twin threats of Brexit and trade uncertainty on this drop. It's been causing companies to rein in capital expenditure, and that's set to contribute to a continued gloominess in the Eurozone's largest economy. In fact, the Kiel Institute for the World Economy cut its growth forecast for Germany today down to 0.8% from a previous forecast of 1.9%.
All right, thank you very much, Janelle, for those updates. Enjoy the rest of the day.